Welcome back. 2024 is another big year for South African sport, with the Paris Olympics not too far from now. Team South Africa has not done very well in recent times, and particularly in the track and field section of the Games. Newzroom Afrika's Benjamin Leshoro sat down with Athletics South Africa President James Moloi to hear about their plans to right the wrongs of the past. Let's listen in.
2024 is another big year for South African sport, and in case you don't know, it's an Olympic year. The Paris Games will be held a little bit later this year, and we thought, why not come and speak to the man in charge of athletics in South Africa, James Moloi, and talk about the ambitions and the preparations of Team South Africa in this Olympic year, with just a few months left until our team leaves for France. James Moloi, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for welcoming us into your office today. How has it been the past couple of years in the job?
It was tough. Let me just say it was tough, because since I was elected on the 8th of May 2021, but fortunately, because I'm from the athletics background, I was an athlete before, I understand athletics in and out, because you know that I was the president of Central County Athletics for 8 years, which is the biggest province in South Africa. So it's becoming very easy. It became very easy for me when I started in Athletics South Africa. So for me, I was ready for the job, and then everything is going very well at the present moment. I'm getting there. So from my side, I'm okay. So I'm ready for challenges going forward.
So you came in at a very difficult time as well, a time when we were in the middle of a global crisis, a global pandemic, and it couldn't have made the job any easier, because there was expectations, there was a mandate, there were goals to be reached. How did you circumvent that? How did you move around the problems that you initially had when the gun sounded in your athletics as a top job?
Okay, because I was ready for that job from long ago, like I explained to you. So it was becoming very easy, because we had plans. I had plans behind me to say, how can I overcome those problems? But like I said, I had to put a very, very strong team together, and most of those team members, especially my board members, are coming from the athletic background. 90% of them, they're coming from the very strong background, athletic background. For me, it was becoming very, very easy, because you put the plan together and those people will adjust and understand what we're saying. It was going to be very difficult to deal with the board members, those who don't understand athletics at all. But for me, it was very easy, because 90% of those guys, they understand what they're doing, and they understand my plans very well. So it becomes very easy. Now, going forward, now everything is sorted. Now it's becoming very, very easy for us, all the sport members, to move together. And we still have plans, because now, don't forget, our term is very short, because it's 4-year term. But within that 4-year term, you must make it a point that you deliver. You don't have to wait for whatever that is going to happen, because now you have put the manifesto together to say, I just want to achieve so much for a certain period. So, but all in all, I've managed to get plus minus 60 to 70% of whatever that I've promised people in terms of the manifesto. So life becoming very easy for me. It's only those few things that I have to achieve going forward, but I've got a plan going forward.
It just so happened that your tenure as President of Athletics South Africa started, and then the Olympic Games came in, which were actually not supposed to be inside your tenure. They were supposed to be held in 2020 in Tokyo. They came, because of the reasons we've mentioned, they came into your stint already, and track and field did not perform very well. That must have been a difficult pill to swallow. It looked for a lot of people as a false start for you as president. How do you view it?
Yeah, I still remember very well when I came in. It was about a month before Olympics. I still remember very well. But people understood very well that it was very difficult for me because I just came in now. I still remember it was during the...
You just arrived?
I just arrived. At the time of COVID, if you still remember very well. Yeah. And we were not even allowed to go to Tokyo.
Yes.
Still remember.
Even the athletes' village was not the same as we used to.
I didn't even go there myself just to go and encourage the athletes because don't forget, it's so nice to go there and encourage athletes. And when the athletes see the leaders there, they are becoming encouraged to say at least we're getting somewhere. Then you go to the hotel and you encourage them and all that. But a lot of people understood to say, it's beyond my control. But the next one that I was there, let me be honest to you, I just want to be in front, is the Budapest, I was there.
In the World Champs?
In the World Champs, I was there myself, personally. But our guys did very well, but the unfortunate part, you understand what happened there, everybody was watching, it was beyond somebody's control, whereby we had false starts and then...
Was it?
We dropped the baton.
Was it beyond anyone's control? I mean, it was schoolboy errors, if I can put it like that, by the team. You get false starts, you get dropping of the baton. These are rudimentary mistakes.
Yeah, but if you can check the performance that time, we should have maybe came second in the relay. In the relay, we should have came second. And then the 100 meters, we should have been maybe second or first, whatever case. But I'm talking about those mistakes. And then that the young lady, she fell, and understand. That time, if you can check those mistakes, we should have got maybe plus minus 2 medals or 3 medals within that period. But like I said, if you're a leader, you have to absorb pressure. Because at the end of the day, when people are coming back, they expect to get medals. They don't care what happened and all that. Because at the end of the day, when the ship sinks, the captain must answer, and I have to answer. You understand? But like I said, I think we need more athletes. We need to develop more athletes, not to have those mistakes again, because we understand if we had a lot of athletes that have been there, especially the relays, we should have maybe done very well, because with the mixed relays and all that, we've got good athletes in South Africa for the relays. Let me be honest with you. Because immediately after we came from that, the athletes came and said, no, we didn't have enough chance to practice the baton and all that. I understood. I said, no. From our side, we will take a blame because you came a week before or 2 weeks before.
Why is that? Why did that happen?
No, they came 2 weeks before. They came 2 weeks before. But don't forget.
Were they called 2 weeks before or they came 2 weeks?
No, but they are not coming from one country. They were coming from different countries.
So it wasn't Athletics South Africa's fault. Because from what particularly Akani Simbine had to say, which raised a lot of eyebrows, it sounded like he's implying that in fact, he did say, I've been quiet for far too long. And it sounded like he's implying that he's being made the scapegoat, and it is somebody else's fault who holds a higher power, or who wields power within the federation or federations. So it was not ASA's fault, it was the athlete's fault.
It was nobody's fault, let me be honest. It was nobody's fault. I just want to be clear with you, because now, don't forget, a mistake is a mistake. It just happened. But like I said, when we invited athletes, those athletes are not staying in one country. They are staying in different countries, especially the top athletes. So some of them, they're coming in Italy, some of them are coming in America, and all that, in different places. But when they met, it was only a matter of a week. Understand? A matter of a week.
But who was supposed to make sure that they have more practice together? Who was responsible for that? Was it the federation that didn't make those arrangements, or the federation did make the arrangements but the athletes were just not available?
Yeah, let me just, because we've got a lot of athletes that are running the relays. Don't forget, most of those athletes are running as individual. Before they can run the relay, they run as individual. But from our side, we did our best in terms of arranging for those athletes. But you get maybe 50% of those athletes. Let me be honest. We get 50% of the athletes, but the other athletes are still preparing and trying to get the visas and all that. It becomes a problem for those athletes to get the visas in time. But what we did now going forward, because we don't have to go back again and blame who did what, we said, going forward, I think we have to do things in time from our side. Let's just be coming back to us to say, maybe to avoid everything, let's just do things 6 months prior or 4 months prior and then get rid of these things, and so that people mustn't blame each other. We understand. I'm not going to say the athletes are right. We are not going to say we are right from our side. We are saying we are not going to blame each other now. Let's just correct the situation whereby we are going to say, let's do things in time. Yeah. Maybe if we can do in time 6 months prior, 4 months prior, like we are doing now. So we understand that when we overcome all these problems we have been encountering, especially the visa problems and everything now. So it's what we are doing now at the present juncture to say now we are dealing with problems, because now the athletes told us straight away, they complain about the time, the short time and all that. We said, no, it's okay. Don't worry. We will make it a point that going forward that you will have enough time, you will have enough practice, you will have camps. I'll just give you a good example. Immediately after we came back from Budapest, I called all the coaches in Pretoria. The following week, all the coaches were in Pretoria. I said, you know what, help the situation, because I'm not a runner, the board is not, they are not runners. So if maybe we can come in and share the plans so that we can, as a board, you send the recommendation, we can implement those plans together, because you are the one dealing with athletes. And then they came. They said, and then they came with recommendations. And then we said as a board, we said we are going to implement those recommendations. And then immediately after that, we called the technical officials, and then we spoke about the technical officials going forward, international and local. And then immediately after that, in December, last year, December, we were trying by all means just to address all the problems that happened in Budapest. And I said, we said we'll take a blame, and then we'll try to deal with these matters going forward. And then in December, I still remember in December, we had our awards, and then immediately after awards, we called the athletes to Potchefstroom, all the athletes for the relay athletes, strictly relay athletes. And then they met in Potchefstroom in December, and they practiced together. And last week, they met again in Potchefstroom for the second time.
So there has been a series of meetings for the athletes.
Trying to address what happened in Budapest and we're going forward. When I said we were listening to athletes than to ignore the athletes and say, they're not going to tell us we are bosses. So we said, it's fine. The athletes can criticize us, can say whatever that they want to say. But from our side, we will go back to the drawing board and try to rectify all these mistakes.
All right. Moloi, it looks like at least there is some efforts that are being made to address the problems that we've had that look really silly, to be honest, that look like we should not have had at the world stage. And we're going to be continuing after the break to talk to Mr. James Moloi. He's the president of Athletics South Africa, and he's giving us all the details with regards to rectifying the mistakes of the past and looking forward to the Paris Games that are coming in just a few months' time. We are with the president of Athletics South Africa, James Moloi, talking everything Olympic year 2024. We'll be in Paris a little bit later this year, and hopefully this time around, track and field will bring something back home. It hasn't been the best over the past couple of Olympic Games. In fact, the past couple of events. Let me talk about Budapest World Championships as well as the Tokyo Olympics, which were supposed to be 2020 and took place in 2021. Before we move on, Moloi, let me just continue our conversation from before we went to break. Do you have any reason to blame, and let me put it bluntly like that, the previous administration under Mr. Alex Kosana with regards to how things were done, which ultimately cost the performances of the athletes at the biggest stage?
From my side, I'm not going to blame Mr. Alex Kosana because he did his best, let me be honest. He did his level best. So till way he finished his term. And then from there, somebody have to take over and do the best, you understand? So what I'm saying is that at the present moment, I'm just going to say to you, Mr. Alex Kosana did his best. He did his level best. And then from there, he passed the baton to the next person. And then I had to make the point that I elevate the standard going forward. And still, I'll be out. Somebody must do the same, understand? But from my side, we don't have to go back to who did what and all that. At the present moment, we're just going to say, let's just move on and try by all means to build a very, very strong foundation of Athletics South Africa. But what I've seen the gap of the development is where the gap I saw, the gap to say, we're only concentrating with the athletes that we have at the present moment, but we forget that we still have to go to the Bundu, we still have to go to the rural areas and try by all means just to get those athletes and all that. So what I'm emphasizing to my board and to everybody to say, let's strengthen our development structure. So immediately if we strengthen our development structure is where we are going to see the performance. I'll give you a good example with the soccer coach. He said, no, people can blame me now, but I'm trying to build the foundation of soccer. And then within people could criticize him and what. But now, all of a sudden, now they are coming back at the soccer. They're doing very well. I think even from our side, we said, let's forget about what happened. Let's try to build a strong foundation. But the only strong foundation that we can build is to go to the rural areas, to all the provinces and said, let's put the structures, development structures together, and then we need the achievement. So let's try to achieve in certain period so that we can build on. I was in Mauritius last time when I came in, and then I took the team of plus minus 90 athletes under 20. Those athletes, they came with 160 gold medals and 100 and something gold medals. That is the foundation, is our foundation. So from there, I told everybody, I told the board members to say, let's stick with this team together, this under 20 team, moving forward, because this team is going to take us till up to 2028, because it's the team that are going to move forward. And the seniors that are here, they are just going to guide those youngsters going forward. But at the present moment, we have agreed in all provinces. I spoke to the council, I spoke to everybody to say, let's strengthen our development team. And then everybody agrees to say, let's stick there and move forward. And then we will get the reports time and again and find out how things. But now at the present juncture, people are doing very well, especially our under 20s.
Right. So going into the Olympic Games this year, Paris 2024, what are we looking at in terms of track and field? I say track and field because we haven't had problems with swimming, to be honest. We haven't had problems with all the other Olympic fields, so to speak. And a lot of people are actually familiar with track and field from school or whatever, a lot of people in South Africa. And they start watching because normally track and field is at the end of, it comes at the back end of the Olympic Games. They start watching the Olympic Games from then. What are you watching to say, okay, this is what we're targeting, this is our goal as Athletics South Africa?
Yeah, like I said, let me just go back to road, because we do have road marathon. Yeah. The last event, I think it was in August, our team came in position 3 overall. I'm talking about road, because road is part of Olympics. Because a lot of people are watching track and field more than road. But road, don't forget, road is still there, and our guys came 3rd overall immediately after Budapest. Yeah. And then we sent a very strong team to oversee, and they came 3rd overall, and they ran very well. So that team is going to be the part of team that's going to represent us in the Olympics, because don't forget, Mokoka last 2 weeks back, he came 2nd in Yoga, somewhere in Europe. So he's part of that team. He was not part of the other team, but he's going to be part of this team. Our team for road is going to be very strong. Don't forget that one. Put that one aside. But coming back to your question for track and field, because a lot of people, they don't understand road. They want track and field because they want to sit there. Because track and field, because track and field is starting on the 1st of August. It's going to be the last event, and then people want to watch the last event. But coming back to your answer or your question is that we have realized that the position where we can get, or the event where we can get a lot of events or where medals, it's track and field. Let me be honest to you. Really? And then we have identified that we didn't have a mixed team from South Africa. So now we have put the mixed team, very, very strong mixed team. Okay. If you can check the result from last week, our guys did very well in the indoors. They were winning, doing everything. And most of those guys that ran very well in the indoors are the ones that are going to run the relay, the mixed team relay. So we are going to put the mixed team. We didn't have the mixed team relay. We've got a chance of winning the 4x4 mixed team relay. And then we didn't have the relay for 100 meters ladies. We are going to put the team 400 meters relays. And most of those ladies I'm not going to put about color. Most of them are blacks. And let me be honest with you. But in terms of the team, we are going to have the 4x100. We didn't have that team. We are going to put the team for 100 meters and we are going to put the team for 4x4. We didn't have those teams. It was only 100 meters only. So now we are going to put plus minus 4 teams for the relay. So it's where our medals are going to be. I'm not going to talk about the individual's performance. I'm going to talk about the relays where we didn't put the teams together. But these ones, I'm giving you surety to this. Our guys are going to do very well. These are the team these are the guys that are practicing in the Potchefstroom. So they're practicing together in that team. So we are relying on those teams. I'm just giving you surety that they're going to do very well. But coming from going back to the individuals, we do have the youngsters that are coming, filling the space. So most of those youngsters are filling the space in terms of the javelin, in terms of the short puts. But now I'm talking about track and field because it's where we are relying on. So now most of those youngsters are going to occupy the space and occupy the space on the 11th, on the 1st. But now the athletes that have already qualified is a plus minus 11 athletes, and 11 athletes. So now they are still open till up to the 30th of June. Anything can happen 30th of June. Immediately after 30th of June, don't forget, World Athletics will give us the list of the athletes that have already qualified in terms of ranking. So we've got what we call ranking. But when you check our stats, if we are going to consider the ranking standard, we are going to have plus minus 40 athletes from athletes.
And I wanted to ask you if in terms of the qualifying times from whatever qualifying event there is, if there's no particular worry from your side, are you still satisfied with the pace and the quantity of athletes that are qualifying with respect to the timelines that you put for yourselves?
But what we are chasing of, the qualifying times are very tough. But if 50% of our athletes can qualify with those times that will be given by World Athletics, we know very well that we've got a position. And then we're still going to send the team to somewhere in one of the Caribbean countries to go and run the relay. So it's where we're going to judge ourselves, our strength. Because immediately after the 30th, on the 3rd of July, don't forget, we are going to hand over we are not going to be part of the team anymore. Don't forget, we are still in charge at the present moment as Athletics South Africa for athletics. But on the 3rd of July, we have to hand over back the team to SASCOC. It's not us anymore, it's SASCOC. But at the present juncture, we are going to do our level best to put the best team that we can. We understand we don't have to rely on anybody else. So that's why we are doing our level best to say we have already sent the team yesterday to the indoor games. They are going to run Saturday. So we are going to send the team now in March, the end of March, to the relay. And then we are still going to send the teams. But what I'm saying is that we want to strengthen our track and field. I'm trying to answer your question to say, this time we don't want any mistakes. We just want to strengthen our track and field. We want to put the strong team, especially coming from the youngsters, and try to beat these seniors.
And Mr. Moloi, all these things, all the plans that you're mentioning, all the goals and targets that have to be reached, they require money as well. We all know that. The organization of these events and everything, something as simple as the kit for the team requires money. And there were reports that came out last year that I saw one headline that said chronic money shortages at Athletics South Africa. And surely that's a concern. How are we addressing that?
But that one, I think it was somebody, I saw that article, it was somebody who was trying to create a story. I just want to be honest to you. It was somebody that was trying to create a story, because before, they used to send a small team. Let me be honest, I was there before. They used to send a small team. But when I came in with my board, the new board, we sent a very strong team. We sent a very big team. So we've been sending the big team since I came in. And some of the people were complaining, why do you send a big team? Because now you need to have a strong guys. We said, you know what? If people have already qualified, you cannot those people, they know that they've already qualified. You can't tell them not to go. So we have to put the team together. In terms of money stories, we didn't encounter any money story. It was somebody from Norway who was just creating a story.
So you don't have money problems at Athletics South Africa?
No, nothing at all. But, you know, if somebody is beat up, people will come with stories. But at the present moment, I'm the one who's telling you that we didn't have encounter any money problems. That's why even now in November, let's go back to in November, we had our awards. We have our awards at the airport. So if you've got money stories, you can't even have the awards because you don't have money. We had to put a big cash in the awards and everybody was happy. We even awarded people like Josiah to and other people that we awarded, especially those old guys. So that one is not an issue coming back to our side. So instead we still need more sponsors to sponsor Athletics South Africa than to have what we have. So we are still moving around and trying to get more money so that we can give more incentives to our athletes going forward.
All right. James Moloi, thank you so much for your time, and we are hoping that this will be a fruitful year for South African athletics, and we can rejoice. I mean, we've been winning things. We won with the rugby last year. Bafana performed well at AFCON. There's been success in the boxing ring, and
now recently.
Yes, you know, so and also the octagon for mixed martial arts. So hopefully we will also have something to shout about come the Olympic Games. That day, James Moloi, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.